If you've watched enough horror movies, sooner or later, you'll hear a character utter a variation on the phrase,
determine if his story has any basis in fact.
Truth would evolve into legend.
All legends are born in truth.
Truth became legend.
And their basis in actual fact.
Most legends have their basis in fact.
Most mythology has its basis in fact.
Well, every legend has a basis of truth.
every legend has a basis in fact. Whether or not that statement is true, it is a fact that many of our most outlandish fables and fictions are rooted, at least somewhat, in actual history, and that truth often is stranger than fiction. Which brings us to the upcoming horror release of The Piper, and just by the name, I'm sure many of you have guessed the legend.
Pied Piper.
Except not this version, but this version. The film is a dark reimagining of the Pied Piper tale, and will chart how a young composer is given the opportunity of a lifetime when she is tasked with finishing her late mentor's concerto. But she soon discovers that playing the music summons deadly consequences, leading her to uncover the disturbing origins of the melody and the evil force it has awakened. When lo, as they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed, and the piper advanced, and the children followed. And when all were in, to the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. The Pied Piper of Hamelin by Robert Browning. Most of us have encountered some rendition of the tale of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, a folk story immortalized by the brothers Grimm and echoed in the works of Robert Browning and Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, among others. Its enduring presence in pop culture is undeniable. The narrative typically unfolds in the town of Hamelin, besieged by an influx of rats. A mysterious stranger, clad in vibrant attire, arrives and offers to rid the town of the pest for a fee. With flute or pipe in hand, the stranger enchants the rats, leading them out of the town to their demise, whether into a nearby mountain or the river, depending on the version. However, when the townsfolk renege on their payment after witnessing the miraculous rat exodus, the piper vows retribution. On June 26, 1284, as recounted by the brothers Grimm, he returns and lures away all of the town's children, numbering 130 in one of the earliest written accounts. The mountain is said to swallow them whole, and they are never seen again. The story's details shift with each retelling, a characteristic trait of folklore. It has been revisited by literary giants like Browning and Goethe, as well as making appearances in more contemporary works, like that of Shrek, and a song by the band Demons and Wizards. Beyond its narrative variations, the tale sparks debates over the identity, motivations, and symbolism of the Pied Piper. This ambiguity extends to the phrase,
It's time to pay the piper,
which signifies settling a debt or facing unpleasant consequences, a phrase that has been part of everyday language since at least 1831 in the United States. Although it is often associated with the longer phrase, who pays the piper calls the tune, meaning the person financing something has control over it. The expression pay the piper is commonly linked with the legend of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Even the term Pied Piper has entered everyday language, as outlined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, denoting various concepts from a charismatic leader to someone who makes unrealistic promises. Additionally, pied piping describes a linguistic phenomenon where certain words pull others along when moved to the beginning of a sentence. Thus, the metaphorical usage of Pied Piper extends beyond its original story, becoming a frequently employed expression in daily discourse. While the tale's variations diverge, the consensus is that the Pied Piper entices beings, typically rats, later children, or other individuals depending on the context of the metaphor. Some interpretations even overlook the significance of the pied descriptor, omitting the character's multicolored attire. Interestingly, the The story of the Pied Piper traces back to an apparent historical event in Hamelin, Germany in 1284. Early renditions omit the rat, which were introduced around 1559, but retained the figure of the piper adorned in vivid garments. Evidence from a stained glass window in Hamelin's market church suggests a tragedy involving children depicted alongside the piper. Records from Hamelin's town chronicle, dated 1384, chillingly wrote, "It is 100 years since our children left," indicating a somber event. While historical documentation is scarce, it's evident that Hamelin was marked by a significant occurrence, leaving an indelible imprint on both the town and global folklore. Theories around regarding the fate of the children, ranging from natural causes to accidents like drowning or landslides, with the Pied Piper himself often symbolizing death in various interpretations. Another theory persists that the children succumbed to the Black Plague, possibly prompting the later inclusion of rats in the story, although the Black Plague didn't reach Germany until the 1300s, making its timing incongruous with the legend's origin. Alternatively, some scholars suggest that the Pied Piper tale may allude to a mass exodus or a children's crusade akin to the one purportedly occurring in 1212. Speculation abounds that the children may have migrated or been trafficked to Eastern European destinations like Transylvania or Poland. Linguist Jürgen Udolph's research even suggests that surnames from Hamelin have surfaced in modern Polish phone directories. The town of Hamelin's modern website entertains this notion, proposing that the children in the legend were actually townsfolk willing to relocate, as all inhabitants of a city are metaphorically its children. Despite the uncertainty surrounding the tale's origins, Hamelin has kept the legend alive. In the 16th century, a new gate in the town's walls bore an inscription commemorating the magician who led 130 children away 272 years prior. The Ratcatcher's house, constructed in 1602, now serves as a themed restaurant owned by the city, attracting tourists with its Pied Piper motive. Today, Hamelin, with a population of around 56,000, maintains information about the Pied Piper legend. During the summer, actors enact interpretations of the tale in the town square. The Bungalowstrasse, the road supposedly traversed by the vanished children, remains a somber reminder as it is still forbidden to play music or dance there. Historical records hint at the Pied Piper of Hamelin being rooted in a genuine occurrence, sparking genuine concern among parents about the loss of children to an eerie and unknown force. Over the centuries, the retelling of this tale undoubtedly underwent alterations and transformations, though the extent of these changes remain uncertain. The enigma surrounding the fate of the vanished children remains unresolved, which begs one important question. If the Pied Piper legend has its origins in real life, how much truth might lie within another childhood fairy tale we've been told?